if you're traveling in the North Country Fair, where the winds hit heavy on the borderline, remember me to one who lives there, for she once was a true love of mine. If you go when the snowflakes storm, when the rivers freeze and summer ends, please see she has a coat so warm to keep her from the howling winds. Please see if her hair hangs long, it rolls and flows all down her breast. Please see for me that her hair's hanging long, for that's the way I remember her best. I'm wondering if she remembers me at all. Many times I've hoped and prayed in the darkness of my night, in the brightness of my day. So if you're traveling in the North Country Fair, where the winds hit heavy on the borderline, remember me to one who lives there, for she once was a true love of mine. That was Girl from the North Country by Bob Dylan. And I played it straight from the charts of the Morristown Uke Jam. So take the link in the video description, download the free ukulele song sheet, grab your own ukulele, and you can play right along with this video. And if you'll be anywhere near Morristown, New Jersey, come out and play with us. In just a moment, I'll do a basic tutorial covering everything I just played. At the very end, I'll do a slow motion close-up play along they might find helpful. But right now, if you like the video, please like the video with a thumbs up. If you want lots more, check out our Dropbox. If you want lots more, subscribe. That's it, to our YouTube channel. If you want over 1,000 more free downloadable ukulele song sheets, each one with a link to its own free video tutorial and play along just like this one, then check out our Dropbox and then come play with us. Okay, now I'm going to start with the strum. It is almost completely consistent throughout the entire song. I called it a pluck strum because I'm plucking with my thumb and then strumming with my fingers. But, and yes, I played a low G, my dog has fleas, as opposed to my dog has fleas, because I thought it sounded better with that bass line. But you could do it however you like. You could play with a high G if you want. It's okay. Now, that's what I'm doing. Pluck, pause, strum, duck, pluck, pluck, down, down, a pluck, pluck, down, down, a pluck, down, down, a pluck, pluck, down, down, a... Now I said almost completely. The only exception is the very first measure. I play, no, excuse me. No, I don't. I'm thinking of another song. Now, that's exactly what I did. Just pluck, down, down, up, pluck, pluck, down, down, up, pluck, down, down, up, pluck, pluck, down, down, up. The entire song. That's all I did. Now, as far as the chord transitions go, they are exactly the same. There's no chorus, and the harmonica verse is exactly the same as the rest of the verses, and the intro is basically, well, the outro is just another verse, and the intro is basically just a simplified intro to a verse. So it's completely consistent. In other words, you learn one verse, you have learned the entire song. So that's pretty cool. Here's how I did the transition. So we start off at G. This is the intro and all of the verses and all of the harmonica verses, right? From G to B minor, the way I do it, my index finger is almost in the right place. I just have to move it over a little and bar the second fret. And that's my B minor. And then I see how my middle finger just naturally is kind of hovering over that C? Well, I just lay it down there. And then I slide it back one fret, and I've got the next G, right? So that's the intro, and that's also the start of the verse. The first line of the verse is G, B minor, C, G. And then you can always ignore, if you want to, there are two different, this is a 3-chord song, but I have 2 variations on 2 of those chords, right? I have like a second position G and a second position C, or some people call them a closed G and a closed C, whatever. Anyway, you can ignore those if you want. If you want to play the most basic version of every chord and ignore the little superscripted numbers, you can do that. That's okay. It'll be right. It won't have quite as much panache, quite as much variation, but it'll absolutely be correct. So here's what I'm doing. First verse, then B minor, then C, and G, and then I just drop a pinky. Now normally I would form a closed G this way, but I already have this G here, so I just drop a pinky. When the winds hit heavy, or where the winds hit heavy, and then it's the same transition to a B minor. But then I do a higher C, right? Instead of this C, now again, whoops, I guess you were here. So instead, I'm going from here to here. I guess technically that's harder, but it's not really hard. It's not really hard. So unless you're a super beginner, I'd encourage you to try that. So heavy on the borderline, and then I come back down here. So now my ring finger's on the right string at least. I slide them down to a closed G. And then the next 2 lines are the same as the first line. Remember me to one who lives there, for she once was a true love of mine. And that's it. Over and over and over and over again. The entire song. In fact, the hardest part of this, by far, for me, was playing harmonica and ukulele at the same time, which I did imperfectly. Thank you for your patience and tolerance with me. It actually, though, if you have any interest in playing harmonica while playing an instrument, I would recommend this as a first song. This is just about the easiest song on harmonica that you could possibly imagine. It really is. And that's what it takes for me to be able to play harmonica and ukulele at the same time. That plus some practice. I did not come to this naturally. But if you have any interest in playing harmonica while playing ukulele, guitar, whatever, I would recommend this song, because the harmonica part won't put you to work. It's just doing 2 things at once. Okay, so here we go now. I'm going to play slow motion, play along. I think I'll go from the intro through the second verse, all right, because they're all the same. After that, it's just duplicated. But I'm going to go close up on my chord change in hand, and you could play along if you think it'll be helpful. Here goes. Slow motion now. 5, 6, 7, and... in the North Country Fair, where the winds hit heavy, on the borderline. Remember me to one who lives there, for she once was a true love of mine. If you go when the snowflakes storm, when the rivers freeze and summer ends, please see she has a coat so warm to keep her from the howling wind. By the way, this is remarkably similar to another Dylan song that he wrote 2 or 3 years later called Boots of Spanish Leather, which I did with my lovely wife Kathy. That one is more of a duet. It's a back and forth, but it is distinctly similar to this song. So if you like this song, check out that song too. And also, I should say, Dylan's initial version of this was kind of a Travis pick. Like that. But then he did what ended up being a more popular duet with Johnny Cash like 6 years later, and he played it in Boots of Spanish Leather style. He played it like this instead. So I followed the playing stylings of the Johnny Cash duet, but the lyrics of the original, because I thought that was a good combo. Anyway, that's it. See you Wednesday. Bye-bye.